Next up on the Cosmic News Network, First Contact with Joshua Pert.
Good morning, Earthlings. Good. How you doing today? Good. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Welcome to First Contact Radio. To talk about all these things I'm talking about is because in life, everything is energy. Every single thing that's out there.
Yo, it's First Contact with Joshua Poet. He's the man on the mic, just in case you didn't know it. Covering news from all around the globe, from the weather and space to UFOs. He'll talk politics and make you open your eyes. Conspiracy theories and government lies. They'll dig it all up and try to find the proof. Cause it's time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have
time to demand the truth. It's time.
First Contact Radio. We have arrived.
It's time.
First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand
First
the
Contact
truth.
Radio. We have arrived. First Contact Radio.
It's time to demand the truth.
That's it. Good morning, Earthlings. How you doing today? Welcome to First Contact Radio. Today is the 23rd of October. Lots of change today. Our sun sign changes. Our moon sign changes. We have a new moon. And we have a solar eclipse. Just some of the activities taking place today. So the sun has been in Libra as of 6:57 a.m. Pacific time. Just a little more than an hour. It is now in Scorpio. Scorpio is a water sign. The tarot card Scorpio is the tarot card of death. Scorpio is all about transformation, deep transformation and change. The moon sign is making its transition and will be complete at 4:10 p.m. this afternoon, Pacific Standard Time. It goes into Scorpio. So our sun sign and our moon sign, both Scorpio. And then, of course, today is a new moon. A new moon. So we've got that energy, that new beginning. So a new moon as we move into a new sun sign and a new moon sign. And then, of course, the solar eclipse brings its own set of energy with it. Indeed. Some of the aspects to look at today is Mars, just before 12:30, 12:22 p.m. Mars is going to be an aspect with the moon sign at that point in time, which is still Libra. So trying to get some good positive vibes towards how we're balancing out, maybe the last way of making some adjustments before we switch over to the next sign. Venus is going to move into the sign of Scorpio as well. That means our imagination is going to go into that area, into that realm, that watery realm. The moon sign is going into Scorpio, as I said, at 4:10 p.m. And then Venus and the moon sign Scorpio, where Venus is in Scorpio. So Venus in Scorpio will be right next to the moon sign of Scorpio. Conjunction. So there's some imagination and deep transformation working together there. And then the sun is going to be right next to the moon about 4:57 p.m. and both of those are Scorpio, Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon. A lot of Scorpio today. But wait, the plot thickens even further. The numerology for today is the number 4. And let me show you how we arrived at the number 4. 1 plus 0 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 0 plus 1 plus 4 all add up to 13. 1 plus 3 equals 4. I told you that we were going to start looking at what the numbers were before the single number. If it's under 22, well, 13 is under 22. Guess what? Card number 13 is. That's right. Card number 13 is the tarot card of death. Card represents Scorpio. What a strange coincidence. So today we have our numerology is number 13, which becomes a 4, but embedded in that is the idea of the Scorpio energy, the change, the 13. We also have the same Scorpio energy with the sun sign, our conscious mind, and the moon sign. Lots of Scorpio energy. We're going to take a look at what this is all about. So here's where we're at today. Right here. This path. Going from emotions to the heart. That's the secret. That's the objective, okay? If we think of the polarity, like the Kabbalion, we just look at one point here, and this are two different ends of this pole. We have the emotions running things, and then we have the heart running things. Highlights of the tarot. Let's take a look at number 13. 13 is the tarot card of death. It represents Scorpio. Hebrew letter Nun means fish. It's a water sign. Behind the fearsome and forbidding aspect of this key lies a world of inspired meaning. In the first place, the scene is not sunset, as you might suppose, but sunrise. The card does not represent the end, but the meaning of death, which is change, motion, transformation. Death is but the gateway to a larger life and reality. It is the power represented by this key that transforms our consciousness and releases it from the trammels and limitations that now hamper our free expression. The significance of this key is profound, and when you realize that all of our knowledge of life rests upon its continual motion and change, disintegration for the release of energy. The skeleton is the conventional figure of death. His scythe is of steel, referring to the planet Mars. It is crescent-shaped, indicating a relation between this card and key 2. The handle is shaped like the letter T, which stands for Ta. The three hands, two active and one passive, represent work. The severed foot refers to the end of the Piscean age, as the rising sun does to the beginning of the Aquarian age. The man's head symbolizes wisdom, and the woman's understanding. The white rose, same as that carried by the Fool in key 0. So a lot of associations in here. A lot of images, but not necessarily what we think. Because now we're looking at aspects of growth. It's not about something ending, coming to a complete finalization, goodbye. Okay? So that is our moon sign, our sun sign, and our numerology today, all looking at the same thing. New moon right here. Today, we have a partial solar eclipse. Happens this afternoon for most of North America, seen in the eastern half of the continent. The sun sets while the partial eclipse is still in progress. Westerners get to see the whole thing. Eastern New England just misses out. And here's a map of when this happens. It says, see your article, partial solar eclipse. Griffith Observatory in LA plans a live webcast from 5 to 7:45 p.m. Eastern Daylight Time. So 5 would be 3 to 5:45. Mayan Oracle, it's a 7-tone day. 7 tones are called the resonant tone of attunement. So today is the attunement of endlessness, the mirror. The attunement of endlessness, guided by the dog. Heart, loyalty. Still in the way spell of the human, using our free will. Phrase I channel in order to reflect inspiring order. Still the matrix of endlessness with the resonant tone of attunement. I am guided by the power of heart. Space weather, solar wind is currently at 431.0 kilometers per second. Planetary K index is between a 2 and a 3. Let's see, our corona holes, nothing really there. M-class flare possibility now up to 95% chance, and X-class up to 55. So we're definitely going to have some sort of activity coming off of the sun today, in addition to all of the changes that are going on. 30% in the mid latitudes and 40% in the high latitudes of some geomagnetic storm activity. On the Jewish calendar, today is 29 Tishri. The daily thought is, be real. What is your job in the world? It is to be real. Act real. Mean that what you say, think, and really be thinking. Talk to your creator and let the words flow from your heart. Every cell of your body down to your fingernails should be real. Yes, everyone knows there are so many things to accomplish in life, and everyone agrees it's better if they're done with sincerity. That's not what meant. There's just one thing you need to do, you're here to accomplish, and that's to be real. Okay? Now, let's take a look at some of the solar eclipse information here for today. Partial solar eclipse on October 23rd will be visible for many parts of the United States and Canada. What the eclipse will look like near the maximum point. Here's a brief animation that shows what it's going to look like as it goes through its phases. You're going to see like a chunk taken out. Okay, so this just gives us a real good idea what we're going to see. And as we can see, it's not a full eclipse. Pretty close. Alright, there you have it. That's what we're going to see today when we look up. It says where to see the eclipse. Regions seeing at least a partial eclipse. East in Asia, much of North America, Pacific, and Atlantic. The eclipse will begin near the Kamchatka Peninsula in the eastern Siberia. That's in 1937 or 7:38 p.m. Universal Time. As it moves east, much of North America will be able to see a partial solar eclipse. The maximum eclipse will take place at 21:45 or 9:45 Universal Time over Canada's Nuavat territory near Prince of Wales Island. It will end at 23:52 or 11:52 Universal Time. And then here we have calibrations. This is in Anaheim Pacific Time. The first location to see will begin as early as 12:38. Maximum eclipse is 2:45. And the last partial bit of it will be at 11:52 p.m. Actually 4:52 p.m. So from 12:38 to 4:52 specific time is when we're going to see it. So just accordingly to your time zone. If you're in the Midwest, that would be 2:30. If you're on the East Coast, 3:30 is when it begins. Okay, also, one other piece here on eclipses. So sunsets are always pretty. One sunset this month could be out of this world. On Thursday, October 23rd, the setting sun across eastern parts of the U.S. will be red, beautiful, and crescent-shaped. It is the partial solar eclipse, explains longtime NASA eclipse expert Fred Espenek. In other words, the new moon is going to take a bite out of the sun. Total eclipse is when the moon passes directly in front of the sun, completely hiding the solar disk from allowing the sun's ghostly corona to spring into view. A partial eclipse is when the moon passes in front of the sun off-center with a fraction of the bright disk remaining uncovered. The partial eclipse on October 23rd will be visible from all of the United States except for Hawaii and New England. Coverage ranges from 12% in Florida to nearly 70% in Alaska. Weather permitting, almost everyone in North America will be able to see the crescent. The eclipse will be especially beautiful in the eastern parts of the U.S. where the moon and the sun line up at the end of the day, transforming the usual sunset into something weird and wonderful. Observers in the central time zone have the best view because the eclipse is in the maximum phase at sunset. This will be a fiery crescent sinking below the horizon, dimmed to human visibility by low-hanging clouds and mist. The warning is don't stare even at a maximum eclipse. A sliver of the sun peeking out from behind the moon can still cause pain and eye damage. Direct viewing should only be attempted with the aid of a safe solar filter. During the eclipse, don't forget to look at the ground beneath a leafy tree. You might be surprised to find hundreds of crescent-shaped sunbeams dappling the grass. Overlapping leaves create a myriad of natural little pinhole cameras, each one casting an image of a crescent sun onto the ground beneath the canopy. When the eclipse sun approaches the horizon, look at the same images cast on walls or fences behind the trees. Here's another trick. Cross your fingers waffle style and let the sun shine through the matrix of holes. You can cast crescent suns on sidewalks, driveways, friends, cats, and dogs, you name it. Unlike a total eclipse, which lasts no more than a few minutes, while the sun and the moon are perfectly aligned, the partial eclipse will go on for more than an hour. Plenty of time for this kind of shadow play. Okay, very good. So that's what is going on. So see for yourself on October 23rd. The action begins approximately 6 p.m. on the East Coast and 2 p.m. on the West Coast. Very good, very good. All right, so a lot going on, lots of change. You know, one thing that strikes me interesting with all of this change in the eclipse is normally when there's a new moon, we don't see the moon. It's darkened out. But we're going to see the full shape of the moon as it passes by the sun. So we get the new moon where we don't see anything, except when it passes by the sun, we're going to see the full moon. So the illusion is just an illusion. Okay, there you have it. That gets us started. Let's go to UFO news.
This is the UFO News with Joshua Poet.
All right, Dirk. Thank you very much. First sighting takes us up to the International Space Station again. Here we have 3 objects. Check them out. The video was captured at the space station a few days ago on live cam. StreetCap 1 of YouTube recorded it and captured not 1 but 3 UFOs. The shot looks like one camera was looking at another. You can see that long white arm sticking out. Well, that's one of the multi-million-dollar HD cameras that hook up a few months back. I have to admit I'm a little surprised that the astronauts on board still didn't zoom in on the UFOs, but I guess they were briefed about leaving them be. Alright, so there's a party going on up at the space station. Not just 1, not just 2, but 3 UFOs showing up. Think they're trying to contact them? Think they're having conversations? What do you think's happening up there? Pretty fascinating. Alright, we've heard about the CIA involved with lots of things, including UFOs. This article from the New York Times going back to January 14, 1979 tells us about the CIA's involvement in UFO surveillance. The CIA's Phoenix, January 13. Documents obtained in a lawsuit against the CIA show that the agency is secretly involved in the surveillance of unidentified flying objects and has been since 1949. No. What? Really? I had no idea. The CIA has repeatedly said that it investigated and closed its books on UFOs during 1952, according to Ground Saucer Watch, a nationwide research organization of about 500 scientists, engineers, and others who seek to scientifically prove or disprove the existence of UFOs. But 100 pages of documents obtained under the Freedom of Information suit show that the government has been lying. What? The government has been lying? No. I am shocked beyond belief. Mr. Spalding, an aerospace engineer with Air Search, one of the largest producers of aerospace components, said the documents show the United States embassies are used to help gather information on UFO sightings, and that the information seems to be directed to the CIA, the White House, and the National Security Agency. The CIA memo of August 1, 1952 recommends continued agency surveillance of flying saucers, saying it strongly urged, however, that no indication of CIA interest or concern reach the press or public, in view of their probably alarmist tendencies to accept such interest as confirmatory of the soundness of unpublished facts in the hands of U.S. government, the document said. Among the documents are several detailed reports of Air Force attempts to either intercept or destroy UFOs. In a 76 incident in Iran, One report says two F-4 Phantom jet fighters pursued a large UFO that seemed to send out similar craft. One of their smaller craft headed straight towards the F-4 at a very fast rate of speed. The pilot attempted to fire an AIM-9 missile at the object, but at the instant his weapons control panel went off and he lost all communications. The pilot eluded the craft and watched as it returned to the primary object for a perfect rejoin. Okay. So, object came down. It scared the pilots, but it didn't hurt them. Very interesting. Take a moment. According to this article, our government's been lying to us. I know. It's a shock. It's a shock. The CIA's been involved with lots of things. Here are UFOs on Archer. They pose as ISIS. In the real world, they pose as ISIS and Al-Qaeda. I mean, it's quite an organization, that CIA. They fool many, many people. How aliens look may surprise you, says biologist Richard Dawkins. What will alien life look like? Evolutionary biologist Richard Dawkins told BBC Future why it may be a complete surprise. Out there, far beyond the edges of solar system, is there life? Well, here's a clip, 4 minutes and 5 seconds. I'm going to leave this for you.
Has the same thing feeling as life.
Talking, and you just zip through, and you can see he's talking about it. And then he talks about the various chemistries of other planets and how other beings might be. In this video presented at the BBC Future's World Changing Ideas Summit in New York, evolutionary biologist Richard Dawkins explores one of the great existential questions faced by humanity. What kind of life exists beyond Earth? It's safe to assume, says Dawkins, that if we ever have contact with extraterrestrial life from outside our solar system, it will be intelligent. That's because of the huge distances between Earth and other planets, but beyond that, this may be the only thing we have in common with aliens. Life on other planets. On our planet is carbon-based, but as Dawkins agrees, it's not totally out of the question to have an alien-based life based on silicon, or robotic, in other words. Alien beings may be nothing like us, so if and when we meet, it'll also transform our understanding of ourselves and the universe we live in. And let's jump up to Mars. I have a couple of things on Mars to show you. This one here, first of all, says an astounding video uploaded to YouTube on March 19th seems to show a lion's den on Mars, complete with cubs, watched over by wary adults looking straight into the camera of the NASA Curiosity rover. It's either the real thing or the strangest case of pareidolia ever discovered. Either way, the amazing video gives the hardest skeptics pause, despite the overwhelming evidence that any form of life on Mars is impossible. Alright, let's see if we can... here's the image. Right here. And this is the image which claims to have cubs and even a lion looking at the camera. I don't think I can enlarge it anymore for you to really be able to see it good. The video also has
How do you search for life on other rovers since the mid-90s? So there's some sound on the
more info on it. Well, this is showing how the rover works. Alright, so check it out so you can really enlarge the image. And also on Mars, here's another object. They're going to introduce Mars, or tell us about Mars real soon. They're gearing up for it, it seems. It says Mars and Earth have the same ancient Mayan rock engraving. Question is, are there visitors in both planets? The rock carving captured in one of the images transmitted back to Earth by Mars rover Curiosity has an amazing resemblance to ancient rock carvings found on Earth. Because this image looks to be an ancient symbol of man, this puts some exciting possibilities into play. How was the same image created on Mars and on Earth? Does this suggest traveling alien artists that have been around for a long, long time? According to UFO sightings on October 17th, Mars rover Curiosity captured an image that appears to be an ancient petroglyph, just like what is found on Earth from a long ago culture. Alright, let's take a look at this up close. There's the image right there. There's it more outlined. Here it is right down here. So, petroglyphs is a rock carving, and this type of engraving is found in caves and on rocks in different parts of the world. The figure, which looks like very similar to an engraving of a symbol used for man, is found in a piece of rock that can be part of a stone pillar that is either in ruins or discards on the surface of Mars. Is curiosity rolling over some old Mars ruins, or is this a piece of stone that was left in an odd place on the planet's surface? Good question. A lot of things on Mars. A lot of interesting things we're finding up there, from animal heads to lion cubs and the mother in the den, possibly, to statues. Lots of things, lots of things. We're going to have some surprise announcements from Mars in the near future, I am guessing, from all of this. Just put two and two together, and it's just kind of what it points out to. All right, I'll be back. Stay tuned.
Come into our circle, Great Spirit. Fill our souls with peace.
Continue on. Thursdays, Bringers of the Dawn, Chapter 15 is where we're at today. Very insightful book. Do you agree? Do you enjoy the book? A lot of information, and for many of you who feel the connection to the Pleiades, the Pleiadian agenda, their mission, I'm sure that for many of you these words are not brand new. I'm sure for many of you, you read these words and you feel as if you've heard them before. Even though this may be the first time, inside of you, you're familiar with it. How do I know? Because I felt exactly the same thing. I've gone and I've been out in the world having conversations with others. I've been on lecture circuits where I've discussed and talked about this information that is in these books that she has. I've stated full paragraphs at a time without knowing where the information was coming from. And I remember even telling people, I don't know why I'm telling you this, but here's why. And then one day I picked up the book Bringers of the Dawn, and I started finding paragraph after paragraph of things I had been telling people and not knowing where or why. As you could imagine, I instantly felt an affinity for these books because something very familiar was happening and being understood. That's what the book says is going to happen, because there's many of us down here, and that we are going to remember. And part of that confirmation that we need comes in the fact that we remember. So, good information. I'm going to continue on. Chapter 15. Earth's Initiation Through Integrity. The beautiful Earth, this beautiful Earth is a treasure so profound and so magnanimous that it draws from far in space to come cherish the beauty that is here. We want you to feel the beauty inside yourself and let it pulsate within your own beings. As you allow this beauty to come into you, it will move you profoundly, and you will begin as a species to command that the beautification of Earth become the first priority for all. We want to seed this idea into you so that you awaken to your responsibility to Earth. We have awakened within you the responsibility to yourselves, and you are on the road to becoming the best that you can be. We congratulate you. Now we are going to do to you for Earth. And how are we going to do it? We have taught you to command the best for yourself in all possible moments. Since Earth is your home, how are you going to extend this energy to Earth and affect this planet with what you know? Well, how many of you have walked in your own property, considering it a sacred place, and let the Earth know how much you treasure it? This sort of communication will get you involved with the beautiful Earth. Involve yourself in doing. Look at your garbage and what you're throwing away and what you are unconscious of. It is an exact reflection of what we have asked you to do with yourselves. Look at the thoughts and at the garbage that clutters your psyche. All we have taught you, you can extend to Earth. Wherever you go, communicate with Earth and let the planet know that you are awakening. You must think of yourself as a thread of light. Wherever you walk, drive, fly, or visit, you are carrying that thread of light. As more and more threads are woven around the planet, eventually there will be a fantastic cosmic wave of light. We are in the world that is on the brink of slowing down before it goes into a mad frenzy. You begin that slowdown by consciously taking greater care of Earth. The predominant consciousness on Earth at this time, particularly in the United States, maintains that having the best looking lawn is a status symbol. In order to have the best looking lawn, you may have pesticides and chemical fertilizers as possible until the lawn begins to look like a carpet that we would be living in your living room. Where did that value system come from? And what is the sense of it? The sense in the value system is that someone made money off of a product and created a marketing campaign and gave that product legitimacy, and someone bought it. Communicate with Earth, listen to it, and let the beautiful planet teach you how to live in harmony. This is a slow process, and you're not going to learn it overnight. Hear Earth saying, listen. Would you like someone pointing pesticides in your skin? This is what happens when you pour them on the Earth. Earth is a sentient being, or a collection of beings. The sentient beings that make up Earth came into this collective of consciousness out of love for the unity of the consciousness and the desire to experience being a home for consciousness. This is like you being at home with all the bacteria and all the things that you live on your skin inside your body. You work with them. Earth understands that in order to be a good mother to its children, it must let the children learn their own lessons. Your lessons are, of course, the lessons of responsibility. If you want something, there are certain ramifications and things you must do and responsibilities that you must take to accomplish your goal. Earth is teaching human beings responsibility by allowing you to create a disruption upon its surface and in its interior. When Earth is in jeopardy and humanity has pushed things too far, Earth will do whatever is necessary to teach human species about the proper care of its home in order for you, as its inhabitants, to learn a bigger lesson. In divine love of humanity and divine acceptance of its role as a teacher, Earth will teach you about its own secrets and power so you can understand how to walk with cooperation and love of Earth and not to walk with disrespect. This inevitably leads to the overwhelming probability of Earth doing some major changes in order to capture the consciousness of human beings and point them out to what they are missing. If 20 million people disappeared in the afternoon because of an Earth change, perhaps the other humans would wake up. Perhaps. You have all heard the predictions of Earth changes over and over again. Some of you have taken them with a great grain of salt. You have not thought what would happen to you, though you might think they would happen to someone else, or in the newspaper halfway around the world. What about when a change happens at your doorstep or in the next city over? What about when the major cities in the United States begin to collapse? How do you think you will feel if you awaken someday to find out there has been a tear in the earth from New York to Washington, D.C.? Would that be enough to shake you up a little bit? Enough to restructure and revalue your lives? You are becoming more aware of what is going on because your newspapers are now beginning to carry the stories. The story have actually been there for some time. There have been environmentalists and conservationists talking about environmental changes for 20 years, but people figured out that problems would fix themselves. Besides, environmental issues do not sell papers, and to a certain extent people have not been interested in learning about responsibility. That attitude is going to backfire. Most people will claim ignorance and think the issues came out of nowhere. Things are going to get so severe that we predict that there will be countries that will ban the use of the automobile. Earth's teachings or lessons at this time have to do with many things. As frequencies change, everything changes. When frequencies change, it is like moving from your house. The whole environment changes. These changes are designed to uplift everyone's life. They are designed to bring everyone to a greater place of ease and comprehension. They are designed to disengage human beings from the paradigm that has defined your world as solid and in very limited terms. When human beings are making quality of life the number one priority in their lives by honoring the quality of Earth's life, there will be very few Earth changes upon this planet. However, most humans, particularly in the West world, are concerned with a very different quality of life. How many electronic devices they own, how many clothes are in their closets, how many cars are in their garages. They are not at all connected to the effects of the material manufacturing on the sentient being that is your parent. If human beings do not change, if they do not make the shift in values and realize that without Earth they could not be here, then Earth, in its love for its own initiation and its reaching for a higher frequency, will bring about a cleansing that will balance it once again. There is the potential for many people to leave the planet in an afternoon. Maybe then everyone else will begin to wake up at what is going on. There have been events all along stimulating you, encouraging you, and bringing you to the realization that there must be a global change. There are grassroots movements that are going to grow phenomenally. What happens to Earth depends on how willing everyone is to change. What is your responsibility in this? How willing are you to change? The time has come not just to talk about it, but to do it. As you commit to change in your own life, you automatically make the change available to the entire planet. Earth is striving for integrity. The planet feels at the time deprived of its integrity, dishonored and unloved. Earth loves you and gives you a place to operate. It is a living organism. Earth is about to reestablish its integrity and let you understand the importance of loving yourself by loving Earth. Love yourself and love the Earth, because they are the same. Earth changes could play an important role in breaking down the system. This will bring about the collapse of insurance companies, which will bring about collapse of many other systems. Many of the banking businesses sell their mortgages to the insurance companies, and the insurance companies invest very heavily in the junk bond industry. Given a few more major disasters like Hurricane Hugo or the San Francisco earthquake, coupled with a war and the underground economy, how long do you think that they can continue to operate? On paper, no one has quite caught up with this yet. It is still a matter of checks shuffling from one bank to another and keeping everyone just about above water. So Earth changes more than likely will be utilized in some way to bring that collapse. Earth changes will also bring about a joining and a triumph of the human spirit, because men and women will go out to help other men and women when disaster occurs. This bonds people. There are technologies that could clean up the place very quickly if that were the plan. However, as the species at present does not take responsibility for Earth, there would be no point. The present species must learn to honor its nest. All of you must learn to honor your bodies, because without your bodies, you would not be here, and without Earth, you would not be here. Your body and your planet are two of the greatest gifts and the most valuable things you own. Ideally, you would express the sacredness and honoring and cherishing and love of Earth and your physical being. This would resonate in your home, your property, the land you are associated with, and the land of your body as well. Earth is more resilient than you would imagine. It is here to feed you and to sustain you. The animals are also here to work in cooperation with you. If everything is done with love, it has the force of the Creator behind it. Done with love, there would be no hurt and no harm. If you need a guide to make decisions about your behavior, ask yourself, am I operating with the highest integrity? Am I operating with love? Is love my intention on Earth, for the animals, for the people I encounter, and all things I do? Everything of Earth can be used if Earth is loved and honored in the process. It may be difficult to imagine a gang of oil workers before they set the bit into the ground, holding hands and asking for guidance permission to penetrate the Earth. Yet if this were done, things would be much more in harmony. You laugh because you deem it foolish to communicate to something that does not talk back. But if industry, educators, and all the people first stopped and committed to the highest integrity and love for all involved and asked that there be no harm to Earth or humans, it would be phenomenally received. This would put into motion the plan for a high civilization. Such awareness is beginning to come. many people are getting this kind of information at this time. Many human beings do not want to put themselves on the line and stand up in integrity because they are afraid of getting into trouble. They say, I will just keep my job and security. What the heck? One of the most incredible things that can happen in any soul society occurs when everyone's security is taken away. Courage begins to blossom like a freshly planted garden because people have nothing to lose. Humans begin to stand up. Never feel that your efforts are in vain. Use the power of your mind to clearly intend what you want. Ask for assistance from the non-physical realms and visualize the outcome that you would like to have. Understand that you create your reality and that every other person creates their reality. Everyone has the opportunity to wake up at the time. When you approach anything, approach it from the bigger picture. When enough people create their own reality consciously, create it you. When enough people create their own reality consciously create it, you will create a new planet. There will literally be splitting of worlds. The splitting will be more likely not occur for more than 20 years. In the meantime, Earth will be more likely ravaged by war quite a few times. You will have some very puzzling and confusing space dramas take place within some space cousins who need to figure out quite publicly who they are. Earth is on a dimensional collision, and many dimensions or probabilities will intersect one another. May this decade. Some of the realities will be shocking. Depending upon the level of shock, each person needs to kick their consciousness into another paradigm. Shock does not mean destruction necessarily. It can simply be a method to alter the way you view reality. Whenever you are shocked by something, you can no longer grip reality the way you gripped it the moment before. There is an instantaneous kick in the stomach and everything changes. The world is in for numerous shocks, and not simply on a national level. We are talking about global intersections of dimensions by which realities will seem to be crumbling down only for those who our realities need to crumble. The concept of probabilities maintains that there is no one reality, that you yourselves branch off into other realities continuously through your thoughts. It is not that you change your world, it is that you change what world you occupy. This goes back to the idea that the world is not solid. It is constructed of energy, and energy takes form through the thoughts of those who participate within this world. There are, and there always have been, probable Earths and probable experiencers. There are probable yous leading quite different lives than you. You know, you are a frequency of energy. You are pulsating with the bait of cord of energy that sings you into existence, and you are so familiar with it that you stay focused continuously on one aspect of your experience. Experience is gained from many perspectives, and you are learning how to change the frequency and to beat so that you can notice what you usually do not notice. You are continuously monitored as to the effect of the neurological changes that are taking place in your bodies. The rewiring or restructuring is like your nervous system going from a 2-lane highway system to a 12-lane highway system. When this takes place, you will have memories of events that have run simultaneously with other events. At first, this may freak you out a little bit because you will have no place to plug them in. For example, say 2 years down the road, you remember a Thanksgiving dinner you had in 1989 or 1990. Then suddenly you have a memory of an event that you never before remembered, and it is right next to and parallel to the Thanksgiving dinner you did remember. You then realize that you were 2 Thanksgivings. This is what will happen as the nervous system comes into a pulsation and the body has a library put back together. As the light-encoded filaments reform themselves and broadcast what they have available, the nervous system must be able to carry and translate it. There is a great polarization of energies occurring with many participants and observers. Many who have come here to observe have come to disrupt as well. They've come to learn their stuff in this time. There are also participants who are completely intent on creating a world that will be quite glorious. As we see it, as the probable worlds begin to form, there will be a great shiftings within humanity on this planet. It will seem that great chaos and turmoil are forming, that nations are rising against each other in the war, and that earthquakes are happening more frequently. It will seem as if everything is falling apart and cannot be put back together. Just as you sometimes have rumblings and quakings in your lives as you change your old patterns and move into new energies, Earth is shaking itself free, and a certain realignment or adjustment period is to be expected. It will also seem that the animals and the fish are departing Earth. These animals are now moving over to a new world as it is being formed. They are not ending their existence, they are merely slipping into the new world to await you joining them. It is difficult to explain this, and to a certain extent because it is beyond a third-dimensional experience. Basically, you are moving into the fourth dimension. When this move is made, you will literally move from a new Earth. It will seem as if you have awoken from a dream into a world that is pristine and beautiful. Your skies are full of observers watching and waiting to see how you will do this, and offering to give you assistance in doing it. For many people, it seems as if this shift is completely beyond all possibility, but not for you who have studied this energy as alchemists and ancient Atlanteans in temple life. The training you have had in other times is encoded within your beings to prepare you for this juncture. The people who leave the planet during the time of Earth change do not fit here any longer, and they are stopping the harmony of the Earth. When the time comes that perhaps 20 million people leave the planet at one time, there will be a tremendous shift in consciousness for those who are remaining. When a large group passes over together, they create an impact upon the consciousness of those who remain. Expand yourselves. Begin to dwell in other realities besides the reality that is work and sleep and eating. When you are awake, let your mind expand to possibilities and ideas. Let ideas come to you. Ideas are free. They are everywhere, and they are broadcast continuously to this planet. When the Earth does its shifting, not everyone will experience the same thing. Those who need to experience destruction will experience the Earth's shift or rotation with destruction because they will not fit with the new frequency. There are those who are prepared to hold a higher vibration. They will experience a frequency shift. So for one person, there may be an end of their life as they know it and dire destruction. For another, there will be a state of ecstasy. All potential exists. Remember, you live in a symbiotic world, and as a result of your thoughts, the outside world represents to you what is going on internally with you. So if the world is falling apart, what does that represent? It represents the falling apart or collapsing of what is inside of you in order to create the rise of a new system and a new energy. It is imperative for you to love and bless the changes within society and not move into fear or anxiety about what is presenting itself. It is your task to be in the vibration of knowing, even without sense, that in every event there is an opportunity for spirit to do its work and to uplift. You are exceptionally lazy species. You give the power away to anyone who will do things for you, whether it is your boss or your wife or your husband. You give away your power over and over again. In order to turn you toward yourself, you need some events to put you in charge of your lives. Bless these changes that come to the earth, and in these events, trust that what you want with clarity will be manifest. You will find yourself tested. You will say, am I a victim here? Is the world collapsing around me, or is it uplifting itself around me? Well, everything is seemingly in the midst of collapse. An important primary belief for you is to hold is that you will be in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Intending that you will be in the right place at the right time, more than intending it, knowing it, will open you to guidance, perhaps even without looking for it. A piece of land or an opportunity to connect with someone else will be put before you. You will recognize it and say, this is for me, I shall take this. Believe it or not, there will come a time, or let us say there could be come a time in many of your lives when you will shut the door on your life as you know it. Literally, you may give up the house that you have to walk out of it with only a few possessions. It does not seem possible now, does it? Something inside of you will say, oh my God, the world has gone mad. What are my values? What is the most important thing for my survival? And Spirit will come in and guide you to tell you what is the most important thing for your survival. This may mean simply carting off a few possessions. Some of you in this life will literally stand on the threshold of your houses, look within, and will all be meaningless because the most important things will be your spiritual values and your life. All those material possessions and collections of things mean nothing in light of what you are becoming. Can you imagine the events that will be needed to move you to that action? You're not going to be small events. Remember, humanity's destiny to evolve. We guarantee that life as you know it now will not be around 10 years from now. The world as you know it, the reality as you know it, the comforts and the projections, the vacations and all the things you do will not be here 10 years from now. You are here for your own personal evolution. how that evolution is going to come about worldwide will be rather interesting. We are not talking about the evolution of a few dozen. We're talking about the evolution of the species. There will be some events that bring people to awakening. This is what is going to be your challenge, to live with your life with courage and to have the courage to live your light. We recommend that all of you intend that the Native American teachings come your way. Begin to explore them through sweat lodges, drumming, dancing, and so on. This will awaken many things in you and teach you much about the earth. You are coded to ritual. When you perform ritual and your big body begins to remember what you are and what you know. As we see it, communities are going to be very influential. In the 90s, they'll form on tracts of land that will be everywhere from 50 to 500 acres, perhaps as small as 25 acres, and they may have houses anywhere from 30 to 100 people. These groups will come together because the members will be responding to an inner knowing. The new technology that will be used in the coming communities will be technologies based on love. There's nothing wrong with technology. The major stumbling block of technology now is the use on this planet is that it's used to separate, manipulate, and control people rather than to uplift them. Technology with love is the key. Many people will be given greater amounts of technology information than what seemingly come out of nowhere. You may be given information for an invention that has not had an idea what it is you are inventing. You may have to hand it over to someone else to bring into reality. People work together in harmony to bring forth this new technology. Part of the evolution of consciousness involves uniting one consciousness with another, not keeping yourself separated. Perhaps one person will come up with an idea, another will take the idea and put it into manifestation, and someone else will sell it. As we see it, there will be a tremendous underground market for inventions. These inventions will never be shown in the traditional marketplace because you would be wiped out, snuffed, and it was known that you had these abilities. If it was known you had these abilities, there will be great trading from one community to another of these underground technologies that will do all kinds of things for you. It can be one of the most rewarding experiences in this lifetime if you live in cooperation with a group of people who love the land and get the land, earth, to respond. In loving the land and letting the earth know what you are after, earth will nurture and take care of you. And that is the key. Alright, that was quite a long chapter there. Lots of great information, and brings us to our channeled message today. Comes to us from the Elohim. Here we go.
The Elohim.
By Carla Thompson, October 19, 2014.
Many greetings to all light warriors. This grand portal October 8th to 23rd develops magnificent thrust as all light warriors cleanse and refine lower timelines, and then return to upper timelines for rest, recovery, and relaxation. The event, which you ask clarity on, was indeed the bottom of the roller coaster ride. In other words, we confirm you moved to denser timelines, for final cleansing of serious world events including timelines carrying the remnant energies of nuclear war. Many light warriors moved with you on this very dramatic mission, although they may not have noticed extreme physical densification, as expressed through extreme physical fatigue and weakness, as your multidimensional selves carry on great nightly missions and even during all sleeping states of consciousness. Not all light warriors carry this role in their contracts, therefore not all light warriors experience sudden physical depletion, third eye visions, and seemingly random thoughts that, if considered in a neutral and open fashion, are actually all signs of this type of highly honored work. The portal that you experienced this night, physically through sudden extreme dizziness and with third eye visuals of a gold-orange vortex, was your accurate perception of travel from the very dense, chaotic, and devastated lower timelines, back up into the highest of timelines for needed repair and healing to your energetic bodies. This golden-orange vortex was the infinity portal nearby, in White Rock, which you have been using for various missions for some time now. This portal moves like a tsunami and now begins to form the wave in ever-building energies as you near the complete alignment of this event. These days will now carry fewer and fewer deep space missions, as you move closer to the upcoming shift, the expansion in frequency, and the personal shedding of dense energetic layers that you have all carried for a very long time. Resolution comes with the letting go. Move into releasing all patterns of thought and patterns of emotion that only serve to feed negativity and uncertainty. It is a moment of recalibration. It follows the necessary letting go of many issues that each one sees as major areas of negative influence upon your lives. A reflection upon one's life shall show at least one area that needs patterns released, and reset. As one releases issues that attach one to lower expressions of density, one rises up, with the rising energies of this portal, riding the veritable tsunami into the highest expression of reflected reality within your reach. Now Gaia lifts with these rising frequencies, and if every light warrior reflects each upon their own lives, to identify one area of restriction, of emotional contraction, and honestly opens up to resolve this issue, the light force created from this decision shall have an enormous impact upon the resolution and freeing of Gaia from lower energies. Gaia has separated from the dense lower timelines, but now needs your assistance in lifting her further through the energies of this portal. Identify, accept, forgive, and release any consuming aspect currently on your waking mind. These actions carry huge import for your own evolution and therefore Gaia's release into the new galaxy. As light warriors each remove their own personal issue, creating dense energies of a consuming and consternating nature, it is likened to dropping ballast from the hot air balloon. The more ballast removed, the higher and faster the balloon ascends. All light warriors contribute in their own way, there is no doubt. Choose to enlighten your load and further assist in Gaia's expansion into her new position in the newly created Golden Galaxy. Close your eyes. Feel into these energies within this message, feel Gaia rising up into the perfection of the newly expanded expression of all that is. You came here for this journey. Awaken to its truth, now. With infinite love, we are the Elohim.
Alright, good message from the Elohim. Brings us to our meditation. Here we go. Close your eyes. Take a deep breath. And exhale. Take another deep breath. Exhale again. Another deep breath. And exhale. Contemplate the words of today's affirmation. Breakthroughs are on the way. I stand firm and I have faith. Breakthroughs are on the way. I stand firm and I have faith. So imagine yourself walking through life with faith. Imagine yourself walking along a path, and you get to the end of that path, and it ends at a cliff. And you see this valley below, and on the other side, you see another cliff. And the only way to get from here to there is either to walk all the way around or to walk across. So you have faith, and we walk. And we walk, and next thing you know, we're walking across the air as if there is a path underneath our feet. And we have faith till we are carried to the other side. And we continue on, knowing that it was nothing exceptional that we did. It was just expressing the faith that we have within us. And so as we practice this faith, as we get stronger and stronger with it, we find ourselves becoming stronger and stronger and more effective in life. So let's just imagine going through the world today, feeling confident, filled with faith. And let us just imagine, as we meet individuals along the path today, that we just send them a little bit of this positivity. We send them a little bit of faith and a little courage to get through whatever challenges they're going through. And for good measure, we throw a little love and light into the mix. So let's just imagine us doing this as we go throughout the course of the day, sending out love, light, and positivity to all those we meet, inspiring them with just a silent expression of faith sent their way. Hold all these thoughts in your mind's eye. Let your subconscious mind continue on the journey of sending out faith and love. And let's bring the conscious mind back to the present moment on the count of 3. 3, coming back to the present moment filled with confidence. 2 coming back to the present moment filled with faith, and 1 coming back to the present moment happy, healthy, and whole. Happy, healthy, and whole. Take another deep breath. Exhale, and open your eyes. That's it, my friends. That is our show for today. Thank you very much for being here yet again. It's much appreciated. Enjoy the eclipse this afternoon or this evening, wherever you are in the part of the world that gets to see it. Enjoy the eclipse. Enjoy the new moon and this transition as we go from one sign, one sun sign and moon sign to the next. It's a big change. Scorpio sun, Scorpio moon, new moon, solar eclipse, all happening at the same time today. Just feel the energy, have fun, enjoy. I'll talk to you tomorrow. I love you. Keep loving each other. Peace. I'm out of here.